Welcome to today's talk on forgiveness. My name is Regina DeMeo, and I'm a family law attorney in Maryland and DC. I've been practicing for over 20 years, and I know it's ironic that a divorce lawyer would want to talk about forgiveness. But what I found in my experience with my clients is that those that are able to forgive are able to move on and thrive much faster than those that hold on to anger and resentment. So I've done this talk as a PowerPoint. I'm going to share my screen with everybody. So I'd like to talk about what forgiveness is and what it's not. It's not about forgetting. It's not about excusing the behavior. It's not about becoming vulnerable, and it's certainly not necessarily about keeping the relationship, as most of my clients make a choice to end their marriage. Right? They're not staying with the relationship, but they are letting go of whatever it was that caused the divorce to happen. What is forgiveness? It's a process of letting go. It's multi-layered. It's obviously your own individual choice, whether to forgive or not, and also to what extent. It's necessary to finding inner peace. It's a component of love, and it's mainly a gift to yourself. And when I say it's a component of love, I just want to make sure it's crystal clear that those that we love are the ones that are most likely to disappoint us. And as a result, they're the ones that would require the most forgiveness of us. So you can't have love without having forgiveness. There are 3 steps towards forgiving. One is to identify the source of the anger and pain. Try to understand what was the person's motive or their intention. You know, especially in court, we focus a lot on whether someone accidentally did something or was it intentional, because that makes a huge difference. And then you have to weigh your options and figure out what's a workable solution for you. Think of the 3 W's when you're talking about forgiveness. First of all, who is it that hurt or disappointed you? Does that person rank, is what I mean. Because if it's a family or friend, then I'm going to really work hard towards finding a way to forgive them. Whereas if it's a stranger on the street, what do I care? I'm never going to see them again. I'm not going to spend a lot of time and energy on that one. Then again, the other thing is, what's the transgression? Was it an agreement that was actually breached, or just my expectations that weren't met? And the difference is, if it's an agreement, you both had a mutual understanding of what was expected, and then someone didn't comply with that agreement. Whereas an expectation, it could be my fault that I didn't properly convey what I was expecting that other person to do or not do. And then, why did it happen? Was it a breakdown in communication, some sort of misunderstanding? Is that person clueless, or was it intentional? I think it's really hard to forgive for a lot of reasons. One is that it's a really complicated emotional process. It requires an open mind and an open heart. We have to find inspiration. If those around us are not in favor of forgiveness, it's going to be much harder to find a way to do that. Whereas if your family and friends, the community around you is promoting forgiveness, you'll find that inspiration. Especially in the US, I think our society is very litigious, and we promote this win-lose model. And also, sink or swim is a mentality that's very prevalent. Darwin's survival of the fittest is a motto that people keep throwing around a lot. And again, mostly in our culture, it seems forgiveness is seen as a sign of weakness or foolishness, which in other cultures, it's not. You have to find a reason to forgive, right? First of all, we need each other, especially during COVID. I think it's becoming crystal clear just how connected we are. It's important to our survival. Also, negativity tends to attract negativity. Don't think you want negativity in your life, so don't put that out there. Instead, I find that positive people tend to get more help and understanding and community involvement to work through problems. If you notice people that are angry, like if they're having a meltdown in a parking lot, they tend to repel other people. right? Think of it as a dog that's injured. If the dog is barking, you probably want to take a few steps back. Whereas if the dog is injured and is cowering, you'd probably approach it and want to try and help it. It's the same with human beings. I found with my clients also that those that harbor resentment tend to get really sick. It's medically proven that those people that hold on to anger, they have these hormones that are not good for their system, and they tend to have compromised immune systems, get sick very easily. I've had several clients who have developed cancer during the divorce process. It literally is making you sick by holding on to that anger. Also, people that are stuck in the past are unable to move forward, right? If you're so focused looking in your rearview mirror, you're not actually looking at the road that lies ahead. It's the same concept. And then successful people, I find, are those that can turn their pain into a source of strength. So the challenge for those of us that are type A's is that we have very intense personalities. We tend to strive for excellence. We want to win, succeed. We're goal-driven, focused. We argue persuasively. We're gamers that like strategies. And we like to be self-reliant and have these major control tendencies, right? Which is great when you're in school, especially if you're in law school. But, that kind of personality is not really geared towards compromise and forgiveness, which is a really critical skill to have in your personal life. So some points to consider as a type A is that intense personalities are actually not the majority. 2/3 of the US population do not have a 4-year college degree. Less than 14% of the US population has a graduate degree. Most people work to live. They don't live to work. Only about 9% of the US population earns over 100,000. So what I'm saying is that there's this little bubble that you might be part of, and you have to understand and take a step back that there's a much bigger picture, and a lot of people are really outside your bubble and they don't understand the world that you live in. So we really have to work on our communication skills. There's a real lack of communication and understanding going on right now, and especially during COVID. These are some key reasons for a lot of conflict. We really need to retool our thinking, and instead of having this win-lose model, I'd want people to try and find a win-win, which is what we do in mediation. We try to appreciate the different perspectives that people bring to the table and adopt more of a team approach. We accept that no one is perfect, and as my son likes to remind me, a 94 is still an A. So sometimes 94% is good enough. Have realistic expectations. You can't expect a fish to climb a tree. You also can't control everything. So during COVID, I've adopted this mantra, which I didn't make up. It's from Out of the Fog, which is a great website and resource. And it talks about the 3 C's. The 3 C's are, I can't control it, I didn't cause it, and I can't cure it. So I like to remind myself of that, and it helps me sort of accept the situation that we're all in right now. And just because someone hurts us doesn't mean that we have to lash back. Actually, it makes a lot of sense sometimes to just take the high road. And I also, kind of a crass way of saying it, tell my clients a lot of times, don't wrestle with a pig. The pig actually likes it, and you just get dirty. The power of forgiveness in my own personal life, after seeing what my clients were able to do, is that after many, many years, I went in search of my father, who was not in my life growing up. And as a result of being able to forgive him and my mother, who lied about where he was for the first 18 years of my life, I was able to forgive both of them and create a great family situation for my son. And the other day when I asked him what his favorite childhood memory was, I thought he was going to say Disney or Universal, something like that. And the best answer ever was him saying that his favorite memory was getting to meet my family. And that being able to forgive both of my parents, we've been able to have some really great memories. And I hope that you will find the power to forgive and you can do the same. Thank you for tuning in. Take care.